Hey everybody, good evening.
Hello everyone. Good evening, good afternoon where you may be, good morning where you may be.
Hope you're all
Whichever
well.
way it is, hope you're all having a wonderful time. I hope you've had a productive day.
Yeah.
And if you're still sleeping and about to wake up later, I hope today or tomorrow will be a productive one.
Yeah. And enjoying the mild weather, honestly. I mean, however long it's gonna
Baby,
last
it's
for.
almost done.
What?
It's almost done.
No. I'm hoping it stays where it is because there's so many people right now that is not gonna be in a good state when it gets colder, right?
Yeah, so
I'm
do your
hoping that
best.
we're in our shorts or something like that come Christmas.
Yeah. People, do what you can to keep yourselves warm, keep yourselves safe and comfortable, and do the best for yourselves.
Yeah.
So, I mean, tonight we have someone who's been here before, and
A little while ago now.
a little while ago,
Yes.
yeah. And honestly, we had some conversations. We've had conversations, and I thought we need to bring him back again. And we're talking about financial strategies, yeah, because what we're going through in the next few weeks, yeah, is going to have a lasting effect on what we do. And with what's going on with the budget and the new chancellor on Thursday, he'll be giving us the news. He's been preparing us that everyone will be paying taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, expect the worst, prepare for the worst, and see what can happen from there on. Okay. So be prepared. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you all once again to Mr. Vernon Butcher. And the thing is, he is one of the better accountants because he explains it the way that you want it to be explained to you, so you understand. So let's go forward.
Yeah, come on in. Good evening, Vernon. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello,
how are you?
Vernon. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very well. Thank you.
Lovely to see you.
You too.
Good,
And you as
good
well.
to see you. I think recently when we were talking about strategies, yeah, because we haven't got long, so I wanted to make sure that we get right to the crux of the matter to talk about the strategies required, yeah, to deal with what's coming up for us. And our conversation actually did enlighten me as to what I need to do to make sure that I'm prepared for the forthcoming events. So, how are you? And explain first and foremost who you are and what your business is.
Right. I am the CEO of VBH Financial Services. We actually deal in bookkeeping, accountancy, mentoring. We aim to be the one-stop shop for black business in finance, in business. Also, we actually deal with marketing, and we also deal with also financial planning.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
all
the
right.
financial plan and the strategy that.
So that's where we wanted to come in because we, in our conversation, and I got to keep on reiterating that it was shocking to me that strategy is not something that people work upon. And there are different aspects of strategy. And so where do we want to pivot this conversation so that we can actually get people to understand what strategy means and how they can actually utilize that within their business to ensure that they can actually speak to you and a company that you do, what you can work with people, how you can work with people. Yeah.
The main issue is most people, they actually focus on doing the actual company they're in and making products, giving services, rather than thinking about the actual longer term. Think about where the business is going to actually go and how to actually structure it to actually get where they need to go. And it's by actually taking that step back that you can actually understand the actual company, can understand the environment the company's in, and can understand the regulations the government's bringing in. And you quite rightly mentioned the chancellor, and he has to actually plan around all of the actual companies. We cannot sit on our hands and just wait for him to actually make the environment for us. We've got to actually be aware of who we are, what we are, who our customers are, more importantly, and how we are going to actually give our services and our products to those customers.
Okay, so are we talking about stripping down, looking at our business, stripping it down to the end, to the last degree, to say, okay, this is who our products, this is what our products are, this is who we're catering for, how does that product meet those people's needs, and how does it meet the values of those customers, so that we can actually say, okay, this is what we have? Because I understand from what you're saying there that not a lot of that particular minutiae of business is actually catered into for us when we actually look at our business.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay.
When we are looking at where we actually want to actually go in 5, 10, 15 years time, it's going to be higher level. The only thing is that when we actually do that, it's got to actually connect together. There's no point saying in 5 years time, oh, you're going to do this, then in 10 years time pivot away and do something completely different. It has to be linked. It has to feed into each other. It also has to be realistic. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So can I ask, Vernon, we talk about strategy. Okay. So should we really, for anyone who's got their business, be looking at seeing where their business will be in the next 5 to 10 years and really start putting that in place now? And if that is true, how can they do that? What tools should they be looking at, or what things should they be looking at to do that, to start that process?
You've got to understand who you are first of all. Very often we actually start with the actual business first, and that is the actual wrong way to actually go. You've got to understand who you are, where you want to actually go, what the aspirations you have are going to actually be before you even look at the actual company. Because if you actually go into something that's not tied into who you are, you're leaving yourself open to not having actual business giving you what you actually wanted to give you.
Okay. All right. So how can we start that? So basically, you're saying look at
yourself first.
What do you mean in terms of what it is you want to achieve personally for the business?
Yes.
Oh.
It's looking at your own personal goals, your own personal values, because your own personal values, they will feed in to your business culture, especially when you've got a smaller business, because it's usually a one person or a 2 person, or you might have 3 or 4 staff. That is where the actual business culture is actually driven from the actual owner. So if the owner doesn't know who they are or what they're expecting, how can the staff possibly know that? They won't know.
Right. Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense to me now.
That makes sense because so from the point of view that you have to sort of strip the business down, first and foremost, you have to look at yourself, where you are, what are your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, for you to move that forward, because that is where you start from, and you follow that consistently. There may be a little variation, but you have to follow that through.
Yes, that is right. Right. Leading on from that then, and you actually start to actually look at where the business is, what you're actually doing, and more importantly, why are you choosing that industry to actually go into? Have you got a skill? Was it a hobby that you're turning into a company that you've got? Have you been trained to actually do it? Why are you doing the industry that you are in? It could be and that it might be a hobby, but it's not the right thing for you to actually do, because it's not where your heart truly is.
Okay.
So you have to take it to the next level. So in essence, then the hobby is not necessarily the best thing to do. It is about, if you're, let's just, for instance, you're making cakes. It's wonderful to make cakes for the family, but at the end of the day, are you really charging the family the correct price? Because the family rate doesn't help the business to develop to the point where it needs to. So, you know,
Yes.
if you make the carrot cake and you charge a family £8, but it actually costs you, you know, £25 for ingredients, electricity and everything else, and you're still charging £8, you're not doing a business, you're just doing a hobby. And you have to recognize that.
Yes.
So yes,
Very much.
yeah. So I suppose at the end of the day, it is starting with yourself, okay, looking at you and what your goals are, your personal goals. And you see, I think that's where maybe some of us have been, you know, thinking wrongly, isn't it? Because you're kind of thinking, okay, I've got a business, so I've got to think what the business is rather than the other way around.
Yes.
But the business comes from you, doesn't it? So I
it
suppose
comes from you, and it comes from your own personal values also. And that's going to actually lead into my next point. Are you a short-term person or a longer-term person? Because a short-term person's going to have short-term goals. And someone once said to me, not every pound's a good pound. And it could be that you're actually, you know, going for the low-lying fruit instead of building actual scaffolding to actually get succulent, higher-up fruit. So it takes time, it takes building to actually do so. But it's something that should be done.
Okay. All right. Okay. So in terms of, so now one of the tools, what are the other tools that you need to look at? Because one of the tools I'm seeing now is that when we spoke, you asked me a question, how much do you want to make in a year? And I was very wishy-washy about it. Yeah.
Yes.
And again, you stamped on the question, what do you want to make in a year? Because you have to visually see it to work towards it. Yeah. And not many people do that because you're
in the hustle, aren't you?
Yeah, we're in the hustle of doing
what
we're doing, and we're not keeping an eye on what our direction is. So, you know, explain that to people, because that is one thing that one hit me hard.
It's clarity of thought, clarity of vision. Basically, it's basically saying, right, this is my job. This is my business. I want to earn 50,000 a year, 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year, and I'm going to make sure that I do it. But it's not just by actually doing it; it's how you actually do it. This is coming back to actually building the actual scaffolding. It's getting the plans in place to help you actually do so. Things like, for instance, a SWOT analysis, business planning.
Wait, what is that? What's a SWOT analysis?
It's a strengths, weaknesses, the opportunities and threats. It's the internal to the business, which is strengths and weaknesses, and it's the external, the opportunities and threats. And it's external to the actual business.
Right. Okay. So some people, we know that we might have mentioned this before, but obviously there's a lot of people that still don't understand that particular concept there. So
I mean, for instance, that SWOT analysis, is that something that you do, or can you get a professional like yourself to come in to help to support that, work through that process?
It's shocking how many people don't actually do it, and it's shocking how many people don't know how to actually do it. When it's something so personal to you, nobody knows you better than you, but we struggle to actually do SWOT analysis, to appraise ourselves, so to actually say this is who I am, because it's hard to really say. The reason why it is almost like we're scared to actually do so.
Maybe we've not, you know, spent enough time with ourselves to say, you know what, I'm going to assess myself, because that's what it is, really, isn't it?
Possible.
Assessing, you know, what areas am I weak?
I'm gonna go deep here. All right. So one of the things about SWOT analysis is that SWOT analysis, see, right, is that when you look at yourself, you have to have the courage to look at yourself. You have to have the conviction to say to yourself, this is who I am intrinsically. These are my faults. You have to look at them and challenge yourself through that. We are not good at that per se, because we've always been told we are not good at that. And so we never actually sat down and said, let us look at ourselves wholeheartedly and identify what are the issues that prevent us from getting to the next level.
And that's where you come in, Vernon.
Yes.
So
Yes. The
how
other thing
can
is,
people use your services to help them along that journey?
we help you to actually be honest, because as we very often look at the actual negative side of ourselves and say we aren't good at this, we aren't good at that, and that is in some ways it's the Black diaspora. We very often say, oh, this race is better at this, that race is better at that, and why can't we be more like them? But instead of saying that, we should be actually saying what is great about us.
That's right.
Why can't other people be more like us? Because of the simple fact, we've never been allowed to actually do that, to actually be like that for ourselves. And it's breaking those shackles and saying to people, look, we've got a great entrepreneurial spirit. Nobody's got a gift of the gab like Black people. Nobody's got show personship, being politically correct, as Black people. And we know how to actually drive things forward. It is just a case of having the actual confidence to express ourselves, to actually say, right, this is who we are, this is what we actually want to achieve. Going back just to one stage, I want to be earning this amount, and I'm going to get there by the sweat of my own brow, and by the actual hardness of my own back. And I'm not going to rely on any other person to actually do it for me. But
that is really good.
But in order to actually do that, you need the right strategies, and we don't have many of us don't have the actual training, or we haven't got the expertise to actually know what the world expects of us, especially as our businesses grow. When we've got a small company, 1, 2, 3 people, you don't really need it because you're working hand to mouth, basically. But as the actual business grows, these fundamentals you actually do need to know.
Yeah.
Things like, for instance, SWOT analysis, SMART analysis also.
What is that?
That's SMART, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. SMART, that's giving you clarity of vision.
People, sorry, Vernon, I'm going to ask them to say that again. People, as we said, sometimes you bring your
need
notepad
to get your notepad and pen.
Especially where I am.
There are gems that are dropped, right? So again, for people, because obviously some people would know this, we know that, everybody, but there are a lot of us that actually don't. So this is why we do these shows, so that we can share and get this information out there. So say that one more time.
SMART.
SMART. Give me an S. S is specific. Okay, it's clarity of thought, it's clarity of vision, it's clarity of who you are, it's clarity of what you want to achieve from the actual in the time given. Okay, measurable. How are you measurable? How are you going to measure the success? We aren't going to actually think about failure. This is about measuring success, driving the company forward. Always success. Never take a step back. Always look to actually push yourself forward. A for achievable. Okay, these goals that you are setting have to be achievable. They've got to be realistic, which brings me to R. Realistic. Realistic. Are your goals, your objectives, is your vision, is your culture, is industry realistic? Because as it could be what you're going into, there's so many other people in there anyway that there's not necessarily a need for you to actually do that. It could be a more profitable to actually go into partnership with someone else around you. And that's what culturally we're not good enough. We're not very good at either. Partnering with each other. Joining together, banding, and Like, for instance, why any black banks?
Mm.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do we find it hard to actually get at black groups of financial experts, accountants, solicitors?
Yeah.
We
That's
just
true. That's very true.
join together, okay, and then time bound. And it is basically, if you don't put a time limit on it, you will let time flow through your hands like sand on this.
Yeah.
So you've got to have it time bound, and you've got to be disciplined in what you're actually doing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you see. Now
that was well explained. Thank you very much.
With that being
very
explained,
powerful.
because that's the
Very
kind
powerful.
of that's the kind of tools that you need to look at. You need to sit down, people. Please take that notepad, sit down, and look at yourselves. What you are actually doing. Put those measures together. See exactly which way you're going, because those are the tools that you need to use. Now, Vernon. Now we sat down and we've done the SMART. We've done the SWOT analysis. So now we've looked at where we're going. We looked at ourselves. I mean, those are three very, very important areas
Should
to
be
look
on our
at.
way then.
So now we have decided, we identified what we want to do. Where do we go from there? Because at what point do we say, hey, Vernon, help? Where do we go?
Right at the very start.
Okay.
Right at the very
So
start.
we should have started that
Because
after we
there's
know
so
who
many
we are.
mistakes that we
We should
can
have
make.
put Vernon in.
There's so many mistakes that we can make. It's like, for instance, many people go into marketing straight away, and they basically pay for ads, and they pay for Google, and they pay for this and that and the other, instead of thinking to themselves, do I really need it? And they do it because it's what everybody else does. You don't really need to actually do it until such time as your business demands it.
Right.
So don't fall into the trap of just doing things by rote because everybody else does it. And that is where the entrepreneurial spirit comes out. It's saying, I'm not going to actually do everything everybody else does. Instead, I'm going to plow my own furrow, and I'm going to actually show the world how I can do things. Prime example, I only deal with black businesses. I could have gone out and I could have said to the world, I'm going to cater for everybody, but I chose not to. And it's not many businesses like mine. And because of the fact that we only deal with the black diaspora. Okay. When I built it, it started off, for instance, doing the accountancy and doing the actual bookkeeping. I moved away from that, and I said, I want to actually do something much more and have a one-stop shop, because I had people coming up to me, clients asking me, do I deal with marketing? Do I deal with legal, with the actual legal side? Do I deal with insurance? Do I deal with this, that, and the other? So I have now partnered with other people, with other black businesses, to be able to offer those services. And that is not meaning to actually sound big-headed, or it doesn't mean it to actually be boastful, but it's showing you where we need to actually get to, partnering with each other, holding one another, growing with each other. Because as once we actually have a larger diaspora of black businesses, we can then go to our community and say, you need us, because we are the actual future that you need to aspire to.
Right.
Going into our schools, going into our community groups, they'll want to actually know about us. So it's bigger.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
and that is the way forward. My question to you, because I know we haven't got a lot of time left, is if somebody has just starting their business or in the midst of their business, but from this conversation or hearing this in this live, that they realize, actually, I don't even know where to start. I don't know if I have all these weaknesses, or how how does somebody find you to say, right, okay, Vernon, I need some help figuring out where I'm going and what my business, just to basically bring the whole package in for them to realign with their business?
It's basically saying, and this is the question that I order: why are you choosing that business that you're going into? Why? What is the long-term vision? Because it's all fair and well saying, I want to offer this service, I want to offer this product. But in 10, 15 years' time, you might turn around and say, this isn't me.
Right. Okay.
So it's better to a point one to actually say, this, I can see myself in 30, 40 years' time still doing this, still offering
okay.
this. The other thing is you can't be actually doing one aspect and one service and one product for 30, 40 years without being flexible, without bolting other things on, because it becomes stale and you become stale. You've got to broaden, and you've got to look to grow. Yes.
Right.
Growth.
Okay. So can I ask you now, in that case, now I've started this journey, I've spoken to Vernon. Vernon, are you providing people with a mentoring service?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Mentoring, consultancy, helping them to actually grow their business, helping them to assess who they are, helping them to assess whether actual products they're actually going into is the correct one for them, whether the actual services they're offering are the correct one for their diaspora, whether it's right for their community. Are they looking to be a national business, or are they looking to be a local business?
So now, what you've just said there, what the issue is that you are providing a long-term service. It's not like, this is where you start up and thank you very much, I'll see you 5 years time, I hope everything's all right. You're actually holding their hands and taking them through that process. Is that correct?
Yes. Longer term vision. Short-termism, don't want to know. Longer term vision, the relationship, building companies, building world-class companies.
Okay.
That means if you're building something world-class, to actually get there, it means that it's going to actually take you 10, 15, 20, 30 years. But I want to actually see that not just for the actual monetary side, financial side.
Yes.
It's community-wise as well.
It's legacy building.
Building, exactly.
Okay, all right. So you know what? All of those things that Vernon has said is what Black Business Recommendation is about: collaboration, legacy building, working with community, networking, all those areas. It's what we need to do because, as Vernon alluded to earlier, we have been afraid to work together, and this is part of the mentality that's been broken from us. But one of the things that we have to say, and people please be aware, there are 300 million entrepreneurs on the planet. 300 million.
Yeah.
So that means what is in you inherently. You know what your mothers, your parents were doing. Your mother is one of the biggest entrepreneurs because many of us, our mothers left the island, came here to start a project, to make the house, to build back home, to bring you over. Those are some dramatic thought processes of growth, development, and legacy. Your parents did that, right? And many times dad didn't want to go, and it was mum who dragged dad over, right? Trust.
Right? The thing is, at the end of the day, this is where we are when we're moving forward, and we have Vernon here who is dedicated to doing that. So, as you can see, scrolling across the bottom there, if you want to get in contact with Vernon and his
First
team,
of all, call him on 07437 863 698. Yeah, so that's important that you actually make that call. right? You also have his email address, right? Which is VBH Financial Services @gmail.com. Please get in touch. Yeah, Vernon is a wonderful person, and what you'll find with Vernon is he's patiently sitting there. He'll listen to you and help you to make that transition. Yeah.
All right. But no, it's been a pleasure, Vernon, having you on. And everybody, you know, do get in contact with him. Obviously, as we are all learning, is that business is more than business is more than, you know what I mean, what we think it is. And it does really start from us. So I think whatever we have learned about business, you know, you must be a go-getter, you must do this, you must do that. You know, Vernon is saying to you, actually, you need to be looking at yourself as, what are your values? What is your, you know, value system?
Your goal?
What's your goal? What's your passion? Right? And once you lock into those things, then, you know, your business can then, you know, start flourishing in the way that you would like it to.
Think of your business like a person. If we are attracted to that person, we're coming to that person. We're attracted to business, so we're coming to that business. That's how you have to handle business, right? Remember, business is not one person. I was first told this and I thought, hey, what do you mean? But I caught on. Business is not you one. Business is many people, many facets working together like a cog to make sure things maneuver and move, systematically. So please, people, get used to the idea you can't do business alone. And if you do, you're just one of the very few, right? Success won't automatically come your way. It'll be very difficult. Work together with people, like-minded people. Get yourselves a contract to work with people, right? That's what I can say.
Vernon, it's been amazing. Any final words? You need to plug your business. You need to tell people. You've got 30 seconds to tell
us
people
about your business.
About your business and what you offer.
I'm not going to actually say that, because when people come in, they'll see who I am. What I will say is, love your businesses, because as it's by loving it, you understand it and you feel what the business needs going forward. And that is what I've got to actually say.
That's wonderful.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Vernon, it's been a pleasure, honestly.
Thank you very much.
You've dropped some lovely gems, and I'm hoping that everybody that was listening in and will do when they do on the playback, will get some clarity.
So remember, guys, you can rewind on the YouTube. Remember, you need to subscribe to us, because we need your likes. We need you to subscribe. We want to get more people involved so that we can do bigger and better things. So please subscribe, tell people, share, like. Let's do this. Collectively, we can do it together. All right? Vernon, it's been an absolute pleasure. Blessings to you, my brother. We will talk soon. Thank you.
Thank you, my darling. Take care now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody. That was Vernon. Right, Vernon Butcher from VBH Financial Services. He's given you an insight, a snippet of what his team offers.
And I think that the truth is that when you actually meet with Vernon and you talk about your business, you will see that there are many facets that you don't really realize. And remember one thing: accountants do more than just count how much you've got in or how much has gone out. They help you to progress your business, to give you a direction. Exactly. And once you have that direction and you maintain the relationship with your accountant, that is a very important part of your growth, the relationship with your accountant. With that being said, let me go and make a good relationship with Vernon McGann. Blessing, people. Blessing. We'll talk to you all. Have a wonderful time. Listen, next week, we've got a gentleman who has his own coffee. Right? Oh my word. You need to get involved. This coffee, the man's got an idea.
Coffee.
The man's got an idea, and not many people have thought about it. And he's just created it. He's going to release it and show you next week. So next week, Monday, tune in.
Yeah, tune
Yeah?
in 8 o'clock, but we're going to leave you with some adverts and have a blessed week.
Have a blessed
All
week.
right.
All right.
And see
You take care
then.
of yourself.
Take care, everybody.
Love and respect.
Bye-bye.
Always.
Bye-bye.
Blessing.